everyone. So, below deck, med. There's not a whole lot to really talk about this. Oh, I mean, there's enough, but not a lot. Not a lot. But anyways, um, Cal was not fired. He's been given another chance. However, hearing Captain Sandy tell him that he is the common denominator made him want to pack up and go home. But Toomey told him not to, convinced him not to. Pretty quickly, actually. Convinced her pretty quickly. We're going to do like different sections here so we can, yeah. We do get our new stew. Her name is Lily. Something like that. She is from England. And she's very, very, very green. We're going to get into how green she is in a little bit. But she's very green. But before we hop into how green she really is, let's go over to Max for a second. So, Max is still talking about the fact that he wants to go home after this next charter. And, you know, they're not really arguing with him. If he wants to go, he wants to go. But both kind of Laura and Haley are like, well, why? Because everything's been going pretty good. And we really only have a couple of weeks left of the season. So, you know, why? And basically, Max ends up telling Sandy that he may go home after this next season, after its next charter, because his mental health, the toxicity on the boat, it's just too much for him. Something about his Eiffel Tower, which I did realize meant his deck. But anyways, so he's, talking about this. Not the Eiffel Tower aspect of him, but that his mental health is affected. And Captain Sandy's like, what? No. You can't leave? We only got 2 weeks left. Just stick it out. Please. I already have to find a new stew. Like, I don't want to have to find a new decky. Come on now. And she ends up bribing him at this point with, I'll let you try out the boat if you stay. But then we see Lily come on the boat, and I think, Sandy, I don't think he needs to drive the boat for convincing to stay. Because he is hook, line, and sinkered on Lily. Like, his eye has been captured. And that is probably the main reason he wants to stay. So, let's talk Lily and how green she is. So, they're doing this charter. It's a 24-hour one. And they are kind of deciding, since you are so green, probably the easiest place to put you is in laundry. And, she doesn't do very well in the laundry. She's never steamed. She doesn't seem to know how to work a washing machine or a dryer or an iron or anything. And it's like, okay, with how green she is, let's preface, she has only worked on smaller boats, probably day trips, not an actual, charter like this. Not on a bigger boat or anything like that. So she probably doesn't need to have housekeeping experience. Although it does say, I believe, in her resume that she has housekeeping experience. I don't know, I can't remember now, but yeah, she doesn't seem to really have a lot of experience. But in this case, I'm thinking, you may not need to have a lot of experience with and a lot of times doing laundry and stuff like that. I feel like some of the knowledge that you can do towards this job can be things that you do personally speaking. Like I feel, and I know doing housekeeping at this level is not the same as what people do on their everyday. This is so different. There's so many things involved. And I 100% get that. But I feel like this girl has never even used a washing machine or a dryer or an iron. Just the basics. We've all used a washing machine and a dryer and an iron. So, maybe not necessarily a steamer, but I feel like most irons these days come with a steamer function, whether you use it or not. So it's just like, have you not used an iron without the steamer option? It's interesting. Nonetheless, um, she's very green. She can't even clean rooms without Jessica being there, kind of helping her, which then takes her off of service. And Toomey also has to take herself off of service to train her, which is a little difficult, especially doing that during a charter. So it, we all thought Jessica was green. Jessica is so much better in terms of her experience than this girl kind of is. But let's leave it at that for now. Let's hop into the drama that's kind of still going on between Kyle and Sheffy. And that is the fact that whenever Kyle is in the room, Sheffy doesn't talk to him, barely looks at him. Kyle kind of does somewhat the same thing, but in the moments he's complaining that he won't talk to him. And I'm thinking, like, one of you needs to make the first move. Like, what is happening here? But neither seems to want to make the move. But when at the end of the charter, which we'll kind of finish up on the charter in a second, because there's a couple of things I have questions about. When they are at the dinner after the fact, as they always do after charters, Sheffy and Lily are talking about like who was his favorite person on the boat, and obviously he's in Natalia and that she's gone, but then she acts like, I guess, like kind of what happened, and he says, I'm not gonna bore you with the negative details, like it is what it is, it's fine, she's gone now. Like, he doesn't bring up what happened. And they kind of just start like laughing and talking about really nothing in particular, especially not anything having to do with the drama with Natalia and Kyle and whatever issues Sheffy has with anyone in interior. So he doesn't talk about anything having to do with that yet. Kyle, because everything's about him apparently, he has to kind of jump in and say, it's funny. He seems to have gotten this boost of confidence to talk his mind when he never would do that before. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Kyle? And he's like, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to like turn her against me. And it's like, so you're trying to say this girl doesn't have a mind of her own and has to just, she wasn't there. She doesn't know what happened. She didn't see anything. I think any adult person can come out of a conversation with somebody, even if he was talking shit about it, would just be like, okay, well, I wasn't there, so I'm not going to get too involved in it. But Kyle has to make it worse than it needs to be. Anyway, so there's that. The only thing that I want to kind of talk about is this charter. The women's theme lovely was fine, but there's this one weirdo who, if you watch the show, already know what I'm talking about. There's this one weirdo that says, I like eggs, but I can't eat eggs outside. But then when someone asked her in breakfast, when they were turning back to the dock, she's like, I love eggs, but something to do with the fresh air hitting the eggs just changes the flavor of them. So Sheffy had made eggs for breakfast that day, and she literally isolates herself at the bar to eat her eggs because she can't eat them outside. It was the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. The only other thing that kind of happened in this charter that was kind of, if you want to say interesting, was the Chip and Dale situation with Luca, Max, and Cheffy as well. So there was that. But there's really nothing else to really discuss here about the charter. They did get $18,000 in their tip, which is actually really good for a 24-hour charter. So good for them. And that's basically it for the episode. But we did get it coming up on. We have 6 more episodes coming. And Natalia has shown up. Ooh. But that doesn't even begin to start the drama. Apparently, Luca has a girlfriend. Jessica seems to be really liking him. Up until the point that he has a girlfriend. There's another drama kind of happening. I don't know if it's like Lily isn't doing very good. I mean, Sandy actually has to tell her to have more attention to detail. It's looking really bad. There's so much more that happened, and that's a preview, but I can't remember it all now. But it was a lot of drama about to come our way for those 6 episodes. So that ends this episode. What I will talk about very quickly before we close this off. This is going to be the last episode you'll be receiving for Below Deck before the recording break. I probably will not be doing any full recaps of the episodes that we will be missing. So that's going to be most of them. But what I probably will do is I think we'll have a couple of more episodes. Well, we're going to probably be on break we're probably going to have a full month of episodes after. So, we probably won't only have 2 episodes between now and say Christmas-ish. So anything that kind of happens in those couple of episodes, we can briefly go through them, but there will not be any full recaps of those, say 2 episodes. But we will be back up and running for the remainder 4 episodes, I'm assuming. Just kind of going off of my math here in my head of the timeline. So maybe it'll be 3 episodes. Maybe 3. So we'll definitely be covering the final 3 or 4, whatever we're doing here. And we will include whatever maybe serious drama that happens from while we're on the break in the next episode, which you will probably get sometime in the second week of January. So that is the deal. But that is it for now. Again, if you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to Facebook at Reality Tea Times 2, Instagram and Threads at Reality Tea Times 2 Podcast, X and Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. And you can email us at realityteatimes2@hotmail.com. And don't forget, we have a website, and that is solo.to/Reality Tea Times 2. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.